Hey there guys, it's Salis, and welcome back to Retro Wednesdays! This week we're taking another look at another tie-in game. This is Hanna-Barbera Superstars, the Flintstones for the Sega Genesis. Before we get on with the actual game, allow me to give you a bit of backstory. The Flintstones was, until The Simpsons released its first episode, the only animated primetime sitcom. So, for the 60s, this was equivalent to The Simpsons of its day. And it was really popular. As a result, hundreds of things sprung out of it. We won't forget The Simpsons, sorry, not The Simpsons, I'm talking about the wrong game. The Flintstones movie, which was, well, let's be honest, terrible. This is just as bad. Exhibit A. You can get on the roofs, but you have to be at exactly the right angle and hold the jump button. Why Fred can't grab after a jump, I don't know. The music is also incredibly obnoxious. It's really loud even when it's quiet. And the music just grates on me. I don't know why. The opening theme was actually quite a good digitized version of the Flintstones theme tune. And that kind of lures you in, but then you get this. And as with many games of its age, it's an action platformer. You are armed with a club, which Fred never used in the show. So for some totally inexplicable reason, you have one. And it's really hard to commentate while playing. And you get these bits as well, where some enemies you can kill, some you just stun. Which kind of makes sense considering you're dealing with dinosaurs here and you're beating them with wood. Now, stuff like this sequence is actually really good. It's quite clever. You're riding on a shark, and every so often one fish will be just too low and able to hurt you. But then, you get to this bit, where not only have you got the low-flying fish, you've got the shark as well, eating the floor. And you'll notice I'm popping these balloons like mad because you can get some pretty useful stuff out of it. Those apples replenish one heart, and the black hearts add an extra empty one to your health bar. But they have to be filled. These are quite fun. Every so often you'll come across a dinosaur egg. In the first level, it's this dinosaur, which you break with your club, and it allows you to fly for a while. But that isn't the reason you want the bird. The bird spits fire for an inexplicable reason. But I'm sure using Flintstones logic, it has its reasons. See how far I can go on this thing before it pops out of existence. And I just narrowly avoided a pig, so hey, we're already onto a winner. Now, as you get later into the game, you get bits like this, where leap of faith gameplay makes its unwelcome return. So you have to kind of guess where the thing is. And this might just be my opinion, but the platforming feels floaty as anything in this. And I played a lot of platformers in the 90s. Again, this is quite an interesting sequence. You have to get this guy to break the wall for you. But these interesting sequences are very few and far between. I mean, the rest of it is essentially this. And more leap of faith gameplay. Fantastic. I mean, you can only barely make out the dinosaur's wing there. And you kind of have to guess where it is. Right, where's this one going? Oh, lovely. Right, I want to keep this egg following me. If you don't crack it straight away, you get more time with the bird. For when you need it, it'll just follow you like this. And classic 90s style music change-up, which means only one thing. Boss fights. Granted, I am like super OP right now, because I can just spit fire at him. Come on, bird. And there we are, defeated. And this brings us on nice and neatly to my other problem with this game. Fred comes home, he's completed basically his story. The next day, there's another whining member of Bedrock Society hammering at his door with a problem. Apparently Barney lost his lucky fishing hook. And he can't catch any more fish ever again because it's not like you can go out and get another hook. And apparently he's going to share some fish. So, off we go again. Yeah, in this, Fred Flintstone is basically Bedrock's bitch. They have a problem, he's the only one who can fix it. And this brings us to my other problem with this game. The water level. Platformers never got water levels right. Sonic came close. Because at least in the Sonic games you had an option of doing most of it above ground if you were particularly skilled. But this one, it's entirely underwater. You never have to come up with it for air because apparently cavemen could hold their breath indefinitely. But I will say this, the water level allows you to do one fantastic thing that no other level lets you do. I present to you the pause screen. Oh, steady. I'm stood on water, this isn't right. Just take that in for a minute. I am stood up, leaning on my club, on water. Right, joke aside, let's move on. Now, you'll notice I'm taking a few swings at every enemy, and that's for a good reason. This game has got some very, very dodgy ideas of hit detection, which is actually a problem I've encountered in a lot of the games I've focused on Retro Wednesdays. I mean, some of the creatures have massive hitboxes, like I was quite a fair bit below that one when I killed it. Others have tiny hitboxes, which basically involve you being up in their face. Like Krabby McCrabster there. Right, now, I want to collect that heart, because I'm going to need all the hearts I can get for this level. Also, there is a distinct lag between you pushing the button and Fred actually doing anything. And I've checked, this isn't a problem with Fusion, it's a problem with the game. I actually pulled out the original cartridge, and the problem persists there. This part of the water level makes absolutely no sense, by the way. Why is it dark where there are jellyfish, and you have to use the jellyfish as lights, but in every other cave in the level, it's bright as day? Surely, this should all be dark, really. Right, carefully, break this one, because this one always contains an extra life. Yeah, the extra lives are Fred's, and if you find a Wilma, it's an invincibility power-up, much like the Sonic Stars. Stars, on the other hand, in this game, are just worthless points. Now, you'll notice that little creature just launched a shell at me. And that is actually foreshadowing for the boss fight, believe it or not. You're supposed to remember that for the boss fight. Yeah, I can sacrifice one so I get one back. I'm never good at getting the ones on the spikes. See, this is where the dodgy hit detection really gets to you, because those things are on such a small platform that it's really, really hard. Now, this bit is very, very inexplicable. Watch this. I am actually outrunning lava, and the lava was waiting for me. Also, why is it when the water escapes the underwater cavern and into an open area, it just stops dead? But I can confirm that if I was to touch that, still, it would hurt me. These are very annoying. They turn up at random. I mean, I know they're like hidden levels within them. They serve no practical purpose apart from to distract you. But they do skip you ahead to the next checkpoint, which is always handy, especially on this level. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot that that secret level was there. Right, steady, avoid the electrical thing. Now, do not ask me what power up is. I don't think it means, like, attack power, because if it did, they'd have to have an attack power meter. It just says power up. Don't know why. And since everything dies pretty much with one hit, apart from bosses, I can't really see power up being all that important. So yeah, that's just another inexplicable problem with this game. This bit is incredibly infuriating. If you get hit by one of these schools of fish, they will push you all the way back into the spikes on the wall. Luckily, they're fairly easy to avoid, but you get caught by one and you are slammed into the wall for a while. Especially when you're trying to get out, because there's another school directly behind them. And that has its issues. Right. I don't want to get blown by the squids with fans into the spikes, so careful, careful. Yeah, that was gonna happen. Right, kill the fish. Kill the other fish. More black hearts. You'll notice as well, that one just refilled one. I think I've actually reached my limit on how many hearts I can have on my meter. So all additional black hearts fill one of the empty ones. Now, I wasn't anywhere near that bottom shell, and it still counted as a hit, even though by all rights and all logic, I should have taken damage. Not that I'm complaining, mind you, because I actually quite enjoy being able to get away with not taking damage, because you end up taking damage when you shouldn't be anyway. Go on. I want to show you the boss fight for this one as well, because I want to show you what I mean by those things are basically foreshadowing. I mean, granted, there is an advantage to this game over, say, several of the other ones I've ever reviewed. And that's you do actually have immunity frames when you take damage. It's not much, but it's definitely an improvement over some of the more unforgiving games I've played. Now, this bit would look impassable to most people, but apparently if you wait... I mean, what kid was patient enough to figure that out? And here's the boss fight I was talking about. The Derpy Dragon. Now, this thing will throw tornadoes at you, for some reason. And drop these. Presenting why I said foreshadowing. This guy takes a hell of a lot of hits. So, what you gotta do is you gotta try and chain these things together. So you gotta knock one into the next, into the next, into the dragon. And I don't care if you think it's a dinosaur, that looks like a dragon to me. Alright. Oh, hang on. Gotta avoid those tornadoes, they hurt like hell. Come on, take some hits. Another problem I have with this game is when you take damage, you are stunned for so long. It's really annoying. I mean, every time I've taken damage from these clamshells, I mean, look how many I'm missing here. Okay, that thing passed right through it. This boss fight can go on for ages, just because of the fact that there are certain parts of this thing you can't hit. And oh god, does it get annoying after a while. And there we go, dead. There's the fishing hook. Mission accomplished. There we go. Quick handshake, and we're on to the next day. Okay, this is actually a legit problem for Fred. Someone hasn't come knocking, he's actually lost his daughter. Personally, I reckon that's just irresponsible parenting, but there you go. And a staple of most Sega Genesis games, a driving segment. And you've got the option of slowing down or speeding up. Not that there's really much point to either, especially when the jump doesn't work properly. I mean, personally, I reckon if you stay about here, you're in the clear anyway. Because you need time to dodge the hazards and the pitfalls and compensate for the dodgy controller lag. You've got no club in this, so the only option is to jump on these cactuses before they do any damage to your car. I will show you what happens if you take some damage, though. When the lag decides to start cheering up a little bit. Because it does actually do something quite interesting. And like I said, these interesting parts of the game are so few and far between, you have to celebrate them when they're there. Right, let's take some damage. Come on, I need another cactus. I need to take some more damage. There's a Wilma. This now gives me invincibility and I just send a phase through everything. Although, why you need the immunity on this level, I can't really see, since most of the hazards are either easily avoided or pointless. Like, there is no way to avoid some of them. I need to take some damage and show you what happens when you do. Where are them spiky things on the floor when you need them? That one will do. So you actually lose parts of the car with every heart you lose, which is actually quite a fun little feature. And apparently, quicksand has no effect on the Flintstone mobile. You can just swim right up it. And remember earlier when I said about Sonic giving you other options to just swim underwater? This is the first time, and I think it's the only time you get a different option than just follow the linear path. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a nice feature, but it isn't in the game for very long. And there you are, I've now lost a wheel. You can in fact lose not only the roof of your car, you can lose both wheels and end up basically just running, carrying the car. At which point I ask, who would design a car like this? Somehow I can't see me finishing this level. Right, try again. Dodgy controls be damned. Come on. Okay, I've lost the roof. Oh, damn it. Right, last life. I want to do this level and then I'll finish it there. Let's set the low path. Let's hang back a little bit. So I can work out the compensation. Right, up and over the sand dunes. Over that. We're making progress. And I know you're wondering what the boss fight was. That was it. There we go. Fred rescued his daughter. That's it. So yeah, this has been my look at the Flintstones the game. Is it good? Well, it's not horrendous. I wouldn't say it's particularly amazing. I wouldn't say it's even that good, but if you can compensate for the lag between controller and action, and some of the other things that are a bit dodgy about this game, then it might be worth looking into once or twice. But I wouldn't say it's one of the things you definitely have to have if you're collecting Genesis games. I mean, the controls are dodgy. Bits like this are dodgy. There are some bits that make you super overpowered to the point where you can destroy everything and therefore make the game irrelevant. And then there are bits that are just obnoxiously hard. Hit detection's an issue. The stupid hold the jump key to be able to hold onto a ledge. That doesn't sit well with me. But for what it is, it's okay. So if you're a fan of the Flintstones and you want to try something related to them, I'd say you probably couldn't go far wrong with this compared to some of the other Flintstones games. But I wouldn't insist you play it. It's not one of the recommended ones. So, until next week, I've been Salis. I've just been hurt by something in the background. And I will see you next time.